and welcome our blog viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we'll bring to you the top and major highlights of tonight. The head of state chairs the work of the fifth session of the Council of Ministers today. Japanese Prime Minister starts African tour by visiting Egypt first. Our international scene. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. Under the presidency of the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, was held the fifth session of the Council of Ministers today, Tuesday, May 2nd. Several issues were on the agenda. Let's hear it out.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, sous la présidence du chef de l'État, Son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la 5e séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 2 mai 2023.
The first issue concerns a bill to adopt the National Drug and Pharmaceutical Strategy 2023-2027, access to safe, effective, quality medicines, vaccines, and health technologies at an affordable cost is one of the essential functions of any health system. Our country has decided to opt for the implementation of a national pharmaceutical policy capable of aligning public health needs with national economic and social development objectives. While encouraging intersectoral collaboration, this policy will ensure compliance with existing legislation and regulations by covering the entire life cycle of medicines and pharmaceutical products from research and development to marketing and use, including the supply chain to public and private markets. Indeed, a well-functioning supply chain is a resilient one that seeks to minimize irregularities and or shortages of pharmaceutical products due to poor governance and coordination. Inadequate storage and distribution systems, the inability to find pharmaceutical needs, and more specifically to emergency situations as disruptions in global supply chains caused by the COVID-19 pandemic that have negatively influenced the supply care and particularly the availability of medicines and essential health products. Our country, like other countries dependent on regional and international markets for essential medicines and health products, regularly works to strengthen its supply chain. In view of the importance of this project for the Djiboutian health system and in parallel with the pharmaceutical policy project, it was deemed essential to develop a national strategy for the supply of essential medicine and pharmaceutical products in the Republic of Djibouti. This new procurement strategy is focused on three strategic directions, which are to improve governance and optimize resources, strengthen the supply chain management cycle, strengthen the quality management of the supply chain. These orientations are broken down into 12 actions. In order to make this strategy operational, it will be necessary to increase the financial and logistical capacity of the CAN. The second issue is related to a draft law on the adoption of the National Pharmaceutical Policy 2023-2027. The COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted the supply chains of drugs and pharmaceutical products and its consequences, prompted the government to develop a new national pharmaceutical policy for the next 5 years. This bill meets the objective of strengthening governments through the establishment of an adequate legislative and regulatory framework and that of a supply system capable of guaranteeing access to quality medicines, promoting local production of medicines, and facilitating therapeutic education. In terms of medicines and essential products, it will ensure the monitoring and evaluation of this policy. The policy document also provides an action plan for the period of 2023 to 2027. The bill will ensure and improve the availability and accessibility of medicines and health products for all Djiboutians. It also aims to strengthen our health system.
La qualité de la chaîne d'approvisionnement, ces orientations sont déclinées en 12 actions. Afin de rendre cette stratégie opérationnelle, il faudra augmenter la capacité financière et logistique de la CAM. La deuxième question est relative à un projet de loi portant adoption de la politique pharmaceutique nationale, donc 2023-2027. La pandémie du Covid-19 qui a perturbé les chaînes d'approvisionnement en médicaments et en produits pharmaceutiques et ses conséquences incitent le gouvernement à élaborer une nouvelle politique pharmaceutique nationale pour les 5 prochaines années. Ce projet de loi répond aux objectifs de renforcement de la gouvernance par la mise en place d'un cadre législatif et réglementaire adéquat et de celle d'un système d'approvisionnement capable de garantir une accessibilité des médicaments de qualité, de la promotion d'une production locale de médicaments et facilitera l'éducation thérapeutique en matière de médicaments et de produits essentiels. Il assurera notamment le suivi et évaluation de cette politique. Le document de politique prévoit également un plan d'action pour la période 2023-2027. Le projet de loi permettra de garantir et d'améliorer la disponibilité et l'accessibilité des médicaments et des produits de santé pour l'ensemble des Djiboutiens. Il vise aussi à renforcer notre système de santé.
Now, with the second part of the Council of Ministers, let's listen.
La troisième question concerne un projet de loi portant adoption de la liste nationale des médicaments.
The third issue concerns a bill to adopt the National List of Medicines. The development of the National List of Essential Medicines responds to the need for rational use of medicines and is strongly recommended by the WHO. The last revision of the National List dates back to 2023, and the new reference list was approved after several meetings of actors from different medical and pharmaceutical specialties and should respond to new health issues and challenges. The drugs have been selected according to the prevalence of diseases, safety, and efficiency based on cost effectiveness rations, recommendations, and observations. The list aims to promote the national use of medicines and will serve as a basis for the development of standard treatment guidelines. It will guide a public and private drug supply system, direct local production, and facilitate therapeutic education of patients. The fourth issue relates to a bill concerning protected areas. The purpose of this project, therefore, is to put in place a legislative framework for protected areas. Indeed, the law number 45 on the creation of terrestrial and marine protected areas were promulgated in 24, followed by the adoption in July 29 of the Environmental Code to strengthen the legislation in this area. 7 protected areas have been created since the adoption of the first legislative text. After 2 decades, it has become urgent to proceed with the revision of the 24 law in City in accordance with the current context of the country and international criteria applicable to protected areas. The new draft law specifies the different categories of protected areas recognized worldwide, as well as the nomenclature of the statute of nature park, biological reserve, natural reserve, and natural sites. This bill defines the modalities of creation, modification, and management of protected areas, as well as the penal provisions for offenses and applicable penalties. Finally, the fifth issue concerns a draft decree on the general regulations of the Advanced Technician Certificate. The draft decree sets the terms of preparation and conditions of issuance of the Advanced Technician Certificate, as well as the organization of the examination of the 10 diploma called BTS. The Advanced Technician Certificate is a national diploma that is prepared in general and vocational high schools over a 2 years period. It is also prepared through continuing professional education and through the validation of acquired experience. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this afternoon at the Palace of the Republic the letter of credence of the new ambassador auxiliated by the United Kingdom of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Vinay Talwar. In a speech made on this occasion, the new ambassador of the United Kingdom to Djibouti expressed his readiness and determination to work towards strengthening the relations of friendship and cooperation between the two countries and the two peoples. The new UK diplomat then presented the President of the Republic with his letter of credence. In a meeting with the President, the ambassador praised the privileged ties between Djibouti and the United Kingdom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, welcomed the new ambassador. The head of state also assured that he will always find the government and the people of Djibouti all the necessary support to accomplish his noble mission. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the diplomatic advisor to the President, Mrs. Fathia Jamauddin, took part in this audience. The President of the National Assembly, Mr. Dileita Mohammed Dileita, inaugurated this morning, Tuesday, 2nd of May, at the Hemicycle, training dedicated to parliamentarians. The objective of this program is to enable new parliament members to be better prepared to exercise their mandate. Led by the international and national experts, this training, which will take place over 3 days, aims to enable the parliament members to better understand the functioning of the administrative services of the National Assembly, to better consolidate the understanding of the issues related to the roles of a member of the parliament, to deepen the mastery of certain technical aspects of parliamentary work, particularly committee work. Within the framework of our reports today, which we present during our news releases, we prepared a report, special report actually, highlighting the efforts of the government of Djibouti in supporting broadly and friendly countries to evacuate their nationals and diplomats from Sudan, which has witnessed a conflict of reclamation recently. More details with our dear colleague Hidayah Muhammad Abdullahi.
Djibouti, a land of hospitality and encounters, a slogan widely chosen. Since independence, the Republic of Djibouti has positioned itself as a host country for refugees and a getaway for foreign nationals fleeing conflicts in the region and beyond, regardless of the reasons and whether they come from Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, and Yemen. There are thousands of them living in Djibouti today. The UNHCR estimates their number to be around 36,500 people. With the help of the humanitarian organizations, the Republic of Djibouti has granted since its independence the establishment of refugees camps, Ali Adde, Hol, Markazi, and etc. In recent years, legislation has evolved in their favor, allowing refugees' children to integrate the Djiboutian educational system and benefit from the necessary care. Thus, this culture of welcome is a practice anchored in all Djiboutians, as explained by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, who said that since Djibouti gained its independence, the neighboring countries have experienced multiple crises, and these crises have led to an influx of refugees, asylum seekers, migrants, and others into Djibouti. It has always managed to manage such cases of food crisis due to the influx of refugees from neighboring countries, and know that the motto of our country, the land of meeting and exchange for all, is not a coincidence, but rather a tangible reality on the ground. On the other hand, for 2 weeks now, Sudan has been facing an internal conflict resulting in hundreds of civilian casualties. The international community is alarmed by the situation. The whole world is mobilizing to evacuate its nationals, Djibouti also. A total of 85 Djiboutian nationals were evacuated from the Sudanese capital, crossing the border into Ethiopia and then returning to Djibouti on board the national airline Air Djibouti. In addition to evacuating Djiboutians stranded for several days in Sudan, our country will play a leading role in providing assistance to some 20 countries whose citizens are on Sudanese territory. The instructions of the head of state are clear, and therefore the exceptional mobilization, gendarmerie, police, army, and civil aviation, everyone is on the ground. The eyes of the world are focused on Djibouti. For several days, the international airport of Djibouti will experience an unusual pace of influx of aircraft. This time, it is not about refugees, but about evacuation of foreign nationals in friendly countries such as France, Norway, Sweden, the United States, Italy, Japan, and Canada have chartered large aircraft. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, nearly 2,000 people have landed on Djibouti soil before returning to their respective countries. A relief for all those people whose lives were threatened. Collaboration with friendly countries has intensified in recent days, allowing evacuation operations to continue under better conditions. As always, in such situations, the Republic of Djibouti continues to play its full role in providing solutions. But the best solution is for Sudan to return to peace and stability.
Yesterday, May 1st, 2023, on the occasion of the International Workers' Day, the Djiboutian Labor Union, which is also known in short as UDT, presided by Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Muhammad, organized a ceremony to celebrate this event at the Emily Hotel in the presence of the UDT members. The theme of the day was resilience and decent work in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences. The president of the organization thanked all the participants for their presence and wished solidarity and good health to all the workers of the country. The Djibouti Labor Union was founded in 1992 and is now a member of the International Trade Union Confederation. This event was an opportunity for workers in Djibouti to come together and celebrate their achievements. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the importance of solidarity and resilience in the face of economic and social challenges. The Prefect of Djibouti, Mr. Usman Biligire, and the Director of the National Agency for State Information Systems, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Ismail, co-chaired this morning in the conference room of the Institute of Diplomatic Studies of Djibouti the opening ceremony of the training sessions of the integrated systems of the prefecture. Organized by the National Agency for State Information Systems, this training session, which started today, will continue for 9 days from May 2 to 11, 2023. The objective of this training is to provide the prefecture with a robust, reliable, and scalable integrated system in order to improve the management of services rendered by the prefecture. This new platform will allow the agents of the prefecture to follow the progress of all the users' requests through a system, while the users will receive an SMS indicating the progress of their requests. An important delegation of the Moroccan AMCI, Moroccan Agency for International Cooperation and for the Office of Vocational Training and Promotion of Work, came to Djibouti to meet with senior officials of MENFOB, including the Secretary General of MENFOB, Mr. Mohamed Abdullah Mahyoub, and the Director General of Training, Mr. Abdul Ghadir Muhammad, and his close collaborators. The mission of this delegation, led by the Moroccan ambassador to Djibouti, is part of the revitalization of the African Alliance for the Development of Vocational Training, whose convention has been initiated by more than 53 countries, including the Republic of Djibouti. Djibouti is a member of the 20 countries to the promotion of vocational training in Africa, and the Ministry of National Education is an executive member of the alliance. The discussions also focused on the improvement and continuation of the program of young Djiboutian scholarship holders trained in the Moroccan centers to improve their curricula. Each year, the 30 best baccalaureate graduates of the vocational training program continue their study in Morocco with a scholarship. The Minister of Commerce and Tourism, Mr. Mohamed Warsama, accompanied by the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Qasim Harun Ali, presided over the inauguration ceremony of the Belfair Coco Beach Tourist Center of the Little Ambado. The inauguration ceremony of this beautiful beach took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Trade and Tourism, Ali Dawood, the Director of the National Tourism Agency, Mr. Usman Abdi, the President of the Municipality of Balbala, the Manager of the Tourist Center Coco Beach, Mrs. Bahja Umar Gale, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama, cut the inaugural ribbon alongside the Ministry of Decentralization, Mr. Qasim Harun, as part of the development and promotion of tourism in Djibouti. The National Tourism Agency is carrying out a remarkable hard work that aims to exploit our beautiful beaches located in the capital and in the interior districts. It is in this perspective that the small beach Amado is developed and realized with the financing of the National Agency of Tourism and entrusted to a private operator, young dynamic woman of the Djiboutian diaspora who had the will to participate in the development of her country, which is a Djibouti land of meeting and exchange. During the ceremony, the Ministry of Trade and Tourism and the Ministry of Decentralization visited the tourist center Coco Beach. Then solar kits were handed over to the manager of the tourist sites of the capital and those of the interior districts in order to support them in the project promoting tourism in the Republic of Djibouti. At the end of the ceremony, the Director of the National Tourism Agency handed over the keys of the center to Mrs. Bahja Umar Gedle, who will manage the tourist center called Coco Beach.
bulshada isku duubane dalkoodiyo nabadda jecel waxaan u ducaynayaa hoggaanshaha doobirta leh geesiga ku dadaale dalxiiska horumarshe dareemay qiimihiisa way dareemay qiimihiisa waxaan darajada ku helay dadkayga xadaarada leh bulshada isu duubane dalkoodiyo nabadda jecel kah abam kadhadoocana badhagraay faatole agatah micee fadhaanam kayniyay mata.
As part of the activities marking the celebration of the World Health Day and the 75th anniversary of the World Health Organization, the Ministry of Health organized a football tournament called Yusuf Abdullahi Iftin Football Tournament at the Republican Card Sports Complex. This tournament pitted several teams from the country's health establishments and public and para-public health services against each other. After 2 weeks of intense competition, the final of this tournament took place in the presence of the Minister of Health himself, Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdillah, and the Secretary of State for Sport, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil. After a thrilling match, it was finally the team from Dar al-Hanan Maternity Hospital that won the final against the team from the Armed Forces of Health Services. A heavy rain showered the whole region of Ali Sibih yesterday afternoon. Since the afternoon, the rain has continued to pound on the city and on the roofs of the buildings. The heat has been swept away by a downpour of water. The air and atmosphere became mild. Thanks to the regular rainfall, the city is immersed in cool season weather. The flow of water in the wadis and in the alleys of the neighborhoods gave the land a clean and pristine appearance. In the framework of the fight against smuggling and illicit products, it is in the district of Yubuki, especially in Galafi, that the elements of the customs of Galafi in collaboration with the border army and the police have intercepted an important quantity of qats from Ethiopia. The latter intercepted 15 parcels of qats of 50 kilos per bag, that is to say, on total 750 kilos. After the seizure, the destruction of these routes taking place and fired, recalling that these operations were carried out under the authority of the responsible person of the Galifi Customs Brigade, Mr. Hamad Ali Hassan, Chief of the Galifi Brigade, the Director General of Customs, and Indirect Works, Mr. Gulaid Ahmed, and has addressed his warm congratulations to all the elements of the customs and military of Galafi for their cooperation in the success of this operation in the fight against smuggling. As part of the fight against smuggling still, it is in the region of Arta now, especially in Ali Unaid, that the elements of the customs of Luadda in collaboration with the border army have intercepted an important quantity of cartons of cigarettes branded Benson and Business Royals that later have intercepted more than 30 cartons of Bensons and Royals. The Director General of the Customs and Excise Department in the region of Arta, Mr. Yahya Muzaige, and the head of the Customs Brigade in Luaida, Mr. Suleiman Aden Umar, and the Colonel and head of the Burbos in Ali Una, Mr. Muhammad Mahmoud Al-Sowi, the Director General of Customs in Indirect Rights, Mr. Gulaid Ahmed, addressed his warm congratulations to all the elements of the customs and military of Ali Una for their collaboration in the success of this operation against smuggling. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, where the two men discussed the consequences of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis on Africa. Notably, the surge in prices. Russia and Ukraine are the main suppliers of wheat to the continent. Developments in Sudan were an important aspect of the discussions, as I conveyed to the Prime Minister Egypt's vision based on the need for an immediate, permanent, and comprehensive cessation of fire in Sudan, and the importance of the abstention of any external party from the crisis as purely Sudanese affair, which will facilitate the de-escalation of the crisis and prevent it from escalating. The fighting in Sudan has created a healthcare disaster. This is the worrying conclusion drawn by the World Health Organization Regional Director for the Eastern Mediterranean. Dr. Ahmad Al-Madani reported on the health situation where deadly clashes between the forces of rival generals have entered their third week with only 16% of health facilities still functioning. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.